Hello and welcome everybody, this is me, Tim Nolan, back again, the Home Critic, back again with this time. We are doing the great NXT Takeover Dallas, guys, and I'm very happy to be back to do this video. Very excited to do this. I actually watched this show with my friend today. Obviously you saw the prediction earlier on today. Very exciting show, and of course this is an exciting one to talk about because it's NXT. The show keeps on better and better as it goes on. It keeps on improving itself, mastering whatever it wanted in terms of amazingness, and obviously being the best show out there. So I'm very happy to be talking about this show. We saw a lot of great matches, and it was an absolutely wonderful time. Me and my friend absolutely marked for this show, guys. This was, without a doubt, my favourite NXT TakeOver event yet. And, well, I've only seen a couple, since this is probably my third or fourth one I've seen, but I've seen a couple a while back. From recent memory, this is my favourite. So I'm very glad to be watching this one today. And yeah, had a great time with it. I probably will be getting to WWE Network soon, so I'll be able to do a lot more WWE reviews as we go up and we move forward. So I'm very excited about that as well. Anyways, going on to the show, we're going to go through all the matches, of course, running them down, talking about all the great moments that happened on the show, just everything in extreme detail. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Our first match of the night, we start off with a great, energetic, exciting match. It was American Alpha versus The Revival, guys. What a wonderful match we saw between these two people. They put it on. I mean, we've seen one rivalry I didn't even notice as we were watching, but I didn't notice. But this rivalry has actually been going on for months. I mean, this has been a thing that's been ongoing. It's been happening. It's been happening for a good while, and it's really been bubbling over and boiling up to this extreme showdown we saw tonight. I don't know if they've faced off before. We obviously saw two pretty good matches. Obviously, the Revival one I wasn't too happy about, or wasn't too excited about last week. But the American Alpha seemed to be pretty good. Anyways, going into this match, I was kind of like hesitant to see what would happen, who would make a better showdown, who would be the more, I guess, who would make the better impact, and see who would win. And yeah, this one, my prediction was correct in saying, because American Alpha did pull off this win. This match featured a lot of tandem wrestling, especially between American Alpha working together really well as a tag team. Dropkicks left and right. We saw a highlight moment where Jason Jordan hit a lovely dropkick at the head of one of the Revival members. This was an amazing match, guys. A great tag team match. Probably not the best one I've seen, because I've seen some great tag team work done in NXT, but definitely probably one of them, actually, because American Alpha are my favourite tag team ever of all time, guys. Literally, this is probably my favourite tag team. Absolutely thrilling to watch in the ring. And together, as I said this earlier on, I think last time in NXT review, this team works so well together as a tag team. I mean, they're the absolute embodiment of what you want from a tag team. So of course I was extremely happy when they got into this match and completely tore the roof down. They completely won this match with complete heart and soul. I know in this match we did see a little bit of the Revival effort to try and hold on to the championship. They used a lot of good tag team maneuvers. They were, in their defense, had a great match, and also great heels. There really are. One of them went under the ring, came up behind him and attacked Chad Gable, I believe. Then they went in the ring. They had some great moves where they've literally just threw them around, but mainly American Alpha they literally throw everyone over their heads. One great spot where they literally suplex them both together with the belly to German suplexes facing each other. I mean, really great stuff. You kind of have to stay tuned. But basically, they're both facing each other. They both had their rival, Dash Wilder and Dawson, Chad Dawson or something. And they both literally just German suplexed those two. Oh my god, a really great mark out fest. I mean, each moment in the match you were like, what's going to happen next? And absolutely wondrous work. I guess you can probably say that from all matches, but for this one in particular, you could have been so surprised, because American Alpha literally popped out of nowhere and made such a great impact, even since they just came into WWE. It's only seemed like yesterday when they debuted in NXT. So a really well done effort for them, and just a great, spectacular match. This one absolutely tore the house down, as I said earlier on, and just a wonderful one to watch. I love this match. So yeah, I absolutely enjoyed this one. And if I'm gonna have to give it out of 5, I would say a strong 4. Yes, a really, really good tag team match which set the bar for the night to come, kept the energy going. Maybe a little short, but again, the finish was even spectacular with obviously the tag team maneuver, and then I believe the finish he wanted, but Jason Jordan even did it on his own. He was just like, hell, I'm going to do this on my own, and absolutely tore it down with the finish. I believe the suplex or whatever, and an absolutely beautiful suplex city type thing. And there, yeah, he finished it off, slammed it down, and got the pin and won the match. So, props to him on that victory. And obviously, props to both of them on American Alpha's victory. A grand amplitude, sorry I have to say that. And they win the NXT Tag Team Championship. So, well done to those. Moving on to our second match of the night. Austin Aries versus Baron Corbin, guys. This was a very exciting one. I was extremely happy to see Austin Aries make his debut. My friend was telling me about how this guy was working in TNA, made great impact. You could definitely see the signs of difference here. Austin Aries was a guy from TNA who, I guess, had some sort of history there. He kind of reminds me of Chris Benoit in some respects. Just a hard-hitting guy and out there to get it done. He doesn't care who it is against. He's going to try and be the underdog and get those things done. So definitely this is one where maybe we'll definitely be seeing having a lot more dominance in times to come. But in this one, of course, Austin Aries is going up against Baron Corbin, the Giant. I mean, in the ring, especially with a person like Austin Aries who isn't too big, he definitely towered over him in this one. The Bruiser started out taking off lots of shots on Austin Aries. I mean, seriously, he was trying to pull him down from his pedestal. He was taking so many damn shots at him, bang, bang, left, right, and left, and right once again. We saw him bring him into the corner, we saw him slam him down outside the ring, we saw him throw him around, take a few shots on him. Absolute big boots, left, right, and centre. He was definitely using his size to his advantage, so great props to Baron Corbin. He really held up on this one. A match I was surprised at that did quite well because I wasn't expecting too much from this match. So even this match, which most likely was my least favourite match of the night, had such a great start and finish. It really kept up the pace. It never really slowed down to the point where I was like, this is getting a bit... Yeah, they kept it up. I think the ideal point for Baron Corbin is to be fighting under 10-minute matches, between 5 and 10 minutes. Preferably around that time, 6 or 7 minutes. That's a perfect time for him. He can get things done, he can get a smash in, and he can definitely work. But honestly, seeing stumbling around there sometimes, it almost feels awkward for him. So I think he needs to get it done quickly, he needs to get the job done, and I think the preferable and optimum level for him is to be competing in a sort of sped up kind of exciting match which doesn't show off too much of his weaknesses. He needs to be kept strong, he needs to be kept in a match like this, especially with someone like Austin Aries who knows what he's doing in there, and keeping things nice and smooth, completely fluent, nice word there, fluent, and in action. So yeah, a really fun match. A deep 6 was also hit outside the ring. Austin Aries tried to counter and was absolutely pulverized into this deep 6. I mean, one of the moments of the night, bang, from that height, he went flying down. It was a great image. Austin Aries just banging on the floor. But anyways, the winner of this match was Austin Aries. He did actually end up winning with a lovely roll-up pin on Baron Corbin. Another clever finish just because Baron Corbin's a tall guy, so it made sense for him to go down to that finish. It was a end of days reversed, and you knew at that point end of days never get reversed. I think Austin Aries is great because he was one of these really nice reverses and a really memorable finish into the end. So it was a really memorable finish, guys. You got to remember that. And Austin Aries completely pulled it up into the win. One downfall of this match, I can't remember any of the moves of Austin Aries, honestly. I know he's had a good few kicks and stuff, but I can't remember any of the moves regardless, or any of the moments for him, so I don't know. I don't know if it was the most memorable ending, but definitely a great start for him. And he's got a brilliant look to him as well. I've got to praise him on that. He's perfect size, perfect caliber, and perfect power. I believe he also hit a double axe handle, so I have to remember about, that looked like it just brushed off him, but again, you gotta remember, Baron Corbin's a big guy, and he's kind of unforgivable in a pay-per-view match. But again, this one, great match, and yeah, probably give it a 3. 4.5 out of 5. I really enjoyed this one. And again, it was not a bad match, not in any sense. And obviously I'm only giving it the lowest mark probably of any match on the card. Spoilers alert. But because, hey, there was a lot of great matches tonight, so that's the one reason for that. And so, continuing on the night, we gotta, make mention to all of the amazing matches that happened. And of course, just before we talk about the next match, Kota Ibushi is in the house tonight. I guess this guy is going to make his debut soon. I just wanted to comment on this. I basically saw this in the crowd and I was like, who the hell is that? My brother's like, and then my friend's like, yeah, Kota Ibushi, apparently he's a hyped up superstar. He's probably heard about off some news source, I don't even know. Hell knows what he's heard that from. But Kota Ibushi, apparently he's making his debut pretty soon from, looks like NJPW or some Japanese cruiserweight area, I don't know. Yeah, so he's recently announced, and apparently there will be in a new global cruiserweight series in NXT, I believe. So that's going to be really exciting. When Triple H cruiserweight series, that sounds really exciting. I think they already filmed it, so I guess that's where the whole news source is coming from when they talk about that. But it makes sense. Kota Ibushi is coming soon, guys, to a television near you. And now back to the actual pay-per-view, guys. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn. This match was incredibly exciting, guys. This match set the roof alight, and my friend was saying this is again probably the match. This is one of those matches in the card where it's like, this is the wrestling match. This is the one that you need to watch. If you want to watch any match, you gotta watch this match. This match just made my face fire up with excitement. When people ask you to watch NXT and they say, okay, this is the reason you need to do it. You need to do it because of this reason. This match, absolutely the best match of the night, no question about it. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 just before we get to it. Obviously, it wasn't a perfect 5 in my mind, but it's still a 4.5, a very, very strong number. This match completely blew my mind to see these two wrestlers in action. A really, really enjoyable slugfest early on. Kept it hard-hitting, kept it, should I say, up to praise. And honestly, this match just offers so much in terms of absolute, courageous wrestling and just pure wrestling. It was a pure wrestling match. Maybe saying 4.5 would be too much. 4 I'd probably say, but then again, I've already given the tag team match 4, so I have to lower this up to a 4.5, guys. So yeah, a really, really enjoyable one. An encounter you will not forget, guys. So this one involved so much between the two wrestlers. I remember at one point Sami Zayn was absolutely slugging the hell out of Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura absolutely fought back with all his heart, and this was basically Sami Zayn's last match. This was a love fest. Definitely not his best match in my mind. So giving it a 4.5 out of 5 is probably a bit much. Yeah, I'll probably just give it a 4. Honestly, I'm kind of toying around with that just because I don't think it was a great match. I think it was a good match, which in my mind was one of the best of the year. So heading it down to 4 would probably just be fair enough to it. But obviously, I actually, don't get me wrong, I think this prefer this match with the tag team match. I'm still just giving it a 4 though. So it's a bit more of a 4 than the last one still. That doesn't make any sense, but let's just continue on. Because this one was showered with chance from the very beginning of the match. When we saw their entrances, we were absolutely hyped out of our minds for this. This encounter was the first of its kind. Shinsuke Nakamura's match was very first. I don't know if he could do anything great. He came in, his entrance absolutely blew the roof down. The music, not so much. The outfit, yeah. But his demeanour tone, very fun indeed. And when he got in the ring and absolutely when Sami Zayn was in the corner staring at him, I thought it was brilliant with him just looking over. And then, of course, during the match, Sami Zayn going and with the hands after a big blowdown on Shinsuke Nakamura for a minute or something. So that was funny when Shinsuke Nakamura kind of looked away and went over to the crowd. You could tell he's going to become a fan favourite very, very easily with that pop he got. I think he's got a good connection with the crowd. I think they already feel that connection. That was a big thing for me watching this. I was just like, I can feel that. I can feel that excitement from the crowd every time a knee kick is launched. Now, his moveset, indeed, is very varied. Don't be worried if you're thinking, oh, what's he going to bring to the table? There's some strong style, so it's probably going to be pretty boring. Of course it isn't. This guy's quite light on his feet. Don't be surprised also by his size. You think he's small, you might think he might not hit hard, not be deadly like that, but definitely this guy can work it. Against the bigger man, I think Sami Zayn's a bit bigger than him, so I was surprised how much effect he was getting on Sami Zayn. Definitely a great one. I mean, he's going to be up against bigger people in NXT like Samoa Joe and stuff, and I can't wait for Hideo Itami, because Hideo and Tommy and Shinsuke Nakamura are going to literally, that could be even a better match. But again, let's not look forward to that yet, because this was a really good match. This is probably Sami Zayn's last match in NXT, guys. You have to remember that and look at that and say, okay, that's a really big thing. Sami Zayn could be leaving the building pretty soon. This could be the end for him in NXT. I mean, you got to think about it from several different aspects. He could be saying goodbye. He's also got to be thinking about Sunday night, doesn't he? Again, in big WrestleMania 32. And obviously that's a big deal to him. So he's got to be keeping his body in some sort of repair. I love the way he was sort of setting down his eyes, looking at Shinsuke Nakamura and absolutely analysing every move he did, trying to make some effort to reverse it. And damn it, he had a great, great time. Dare I say Sami Zayn had a performance of his career. Maybe not the best match, but for some reason I think he put so much great effort into this one. Maybe, yeah, think about it. I don't know if he was quite as passionate as some of his last matches. He was definitely quite reserved at some points, where you could tell he was just completely in position he was just focused on WrestleMania. But I never thought he was disconnected. It was just a little bit more focused, a little less, loosened up than usual. Sometimes he can just be completely loose and completely out and free. This one was a bit more, we got to focus down, clamp down on this one, okay? He knew he had to get the job done, and bang, he had a great job here. Obviously there was no title on the line, but this one absolutely did not need a title. It's one of those matches. Some pop moments of the match. Shinsuke Nakamura absolutely demolishes Sami Zayn as he goes for those through the side turnbuckle. That was a moment where he hit that kick, a lovely, lovely kick. Even the counter angle, I didn't quite see it well, but I knew that was the moment of the match, even just glimpsing at that moment. So an absolutely wonderful reverse. Oh my god, the crowd absolutely shocked by that, but in excitement and happiness for that one. So yeah, I definitely really enjoyed that one. And yeah, completely awesome. So by this point you realise Shinsuke Nakamura, absolutely recovering from all these shots, gets back up to his feet. Amazing, guys. Gets back up to his feet and absolutely downs Sami Zayn. Absolutely gets all the revere back he wants. After, getting nosebleed quite early on, I felt the anger in him. The absolute determination, furiosity in him. He completely took down Sami Zayn. Bang, bang, bang. And wow, he took so much out of him. Knees here, left to right. I don't know what his finishing knee is, but you'd hear his translator say how excited he was about this guy, and also, how his finishing move would absolutely devastate any opponent who set foot in the ring with him. So I could kind of take that away. I was like, oh crap, guys, this is going to be crazy. So when he finally hit that at the very end of the match, absolutely wonderful finish, bang! It shook the whole crowd. I've already noticed another few moments of the match where he completely kicked him so hard he fell down. Bang. That was one of those, and I was just like completely overcased by that sort of act of complete awesomeness. Strong style awesomeness. Won the match, 1, 2, 3. There you go, my first 3 predictions are right, so I was pretty confident at that point. The next 2, my friend and us disagreed on, and yeah, I was just kind of hesitant on the next 2. Obviously, the next 2 I was kind of unsure on. Obviously, I said Bayley would win the next one. I guess I saw Asuka coming in. I was like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know if she can do it. But again, Bayley's a fan favourite. This one was a really hyped up, nice big video package, and obviously hyped up one of the most popular women in the roster. Bayley taking on Asuka, the new incomer who has completely torn the NXT. She's won a lot of matches, complete winning streak. I don't know if she competed on to win Takeovers before, but I believe over the last couple of months, she's been complete dominant in NXT. Just everywhere she's set foot, she's completely torn everyone down, taken down Emma, Dana Brooke twice, and obviously done from those aspects. She has made a great impact. Further on to this match, even into this match, this was obviously for the NXT Women's Championship. So when they came out and they basically showed us what can happen here, the entrances were again amazing. They really do make these entrances fun, with the songs just perfectly for that crowd. I don't know how many people were in this crowd. It could be 10,000. I don't know how much it was. It was a nice little auditorium. It wasn't like too big. It was like the perfect size, I think, for NXT. It wasn't like amazingly big like Raw's or a pay-per-view, but it felt a bit smaller. But I'm not sure how many people were in this crowd and how many people were at NXT Takeover Dallas. But anyways, further on this match absolutely rocked the house down. Yes. A really fun start. Again, Bayley getting a lot of offense from her kicks, from her punches more. I like the way she hit the elbows, and then anytime it was Asuka, it was a lot of kicks. So you could definitely differentiate between how the two wrestlers like to work. And then as we got in, we learned so much about these two wrestlers. Just their way they work together was very, very fun. A very enjoyable contest. And again, we saw a Hurricane Rana from the top of the rope, and also a crossbody block. So we were seeing Asuka block lots of moves from the likes of Bayley as she got into the ring with Asuka. I mean, she was getting hip tacks, but Asuka knew how to counter every single move. It's like she's so experienced. I think a little bit more experienced than Bayley in the long run. But the Empress of Tomorrow really shot back with all her heart. And some of the moments, the highlight of the match was probably near the end, where we saw some submissions. Basically a submission where Bayley was trying to... I think she actually had an injured ankle halfway through this really badly by Asuka. And then Asuka was kind of on that kind of the advantage the whole way rest of the way through the match. I mean, completely took over. Asuka, you know, every time Bayley would go for some sort of piece of offense, or when Bayley went for the Bayley to belly suplex, you're like, this could go either way. This is very, yeah. But then we saw a lot of Asuka, you know, fighting back, and then of course the another move she has is the Dragon Screw leg whip. Oh my god, absolutely amazing and dangerous to be in there. And obviously the cross arm breaker, which she locked in quite late on. Wow. I think she very much targeted the arms twice, and I thought it was a very clever thing. And I was like to my friend, she's a clever wrestler. And she's going to have a great future, especially with those moves, that really great reversing ability. And those submissions, he ended up with the Koji Clutch, I believe. And that's the Samoa Joe's move. Clearly messed it up. Asuka Lock, I think it was called the Asuka Lock. Don't get me wrong in that one, but she basically reversed a load of stuff, got into the Asuka Lock, and literally submitted, didn't even submit Bayley, she actually made her knockout. So there you go, guys. This is one I got wrong. Asuka wins with that lovely, lovely, dangerous and amazing submission, the Asuka Lock. Completely finishes it, just says, hey, I want to put an end to this. Sorry about how much you care about your NXT Women's Championship, but I'm going to say goodbye to it now. And by that I mean, Bayley was going to say goodbye to it because she lost the championship. A very shell-shattering one for the fans even, because, damn, I was supporting Bayley in this one. Whew! The loss of this one, I mean, this is one of the most loved women's wrestlers. You got to understand that on the roster in NXT. She's done so much. She's held the title for 223 days, guys. 140 odd days off a year. And damn, she had a great reign since, I believe, August last year. I don't know when it was, mid to early last year. And basically she just threw the roster, basically tying at everyone except for Asuka. That was really effective, the way Asuka tore through a lot of other people, but then got to that position where she hasn't been defeated in that championship position ever, and then went in to do that. So she's definitely building it up. Obviously this would tell us that Bayley's moving on. She's getting out of there. She's going to the main roster, I believe. So that was a really great moment to see those two. Also them at the end of the match, you know, she's coming out the ring. She's so unforgiving after that complete KO. She sees Bayley down there completely injured out of her mind. I mean, I was fooled in believing that she was actually injured, and then thinking, because of all the damage that was done in the ring, and obviously the ankle and stuff like that. But yeah, this one, tore the house down. And yeah, this is probably a 4-star match in my opinion, and I'm getting lots of 4 stars in this show, but that one definitely deserved the 4-star. So yeah, great one. And also, Bayley's probably moving up pretty soon, so it's like saying goodbye to Sami Zayn and Bayley. Oh my god, it's so sad, because what can she do? She probably might get a little bit of program afterwards. I thought I'd see the day where Bayley's moving on from NXT. I mean, they're basically being a mainstay together for the it's just like, we got rid of Sasha Banks, we really want to get rid of Bayley. I was just like, but I was like, Asuka, I actually believe in Asuka, okay? She's a great face. I don't know if she's going to go heel now or whatever the deal is, because these two fought together basically as faces. But I think Asuka's more of a heel role. That confuses me on this show, where we saw her basically get booed, kind of, not really booed, but more had at the end of the match. Kind of booed, I guess, or boo, or kind of, yeah, or no, more like no sort of sound going on from the crowd, but obviously kind of a heel turn. Could this be Asuka's heel turn? I don't know, guys, but of course I don't think it will be. I think she could be a strong face, a really strong face. I mean, she's only just made her way into the, we can't be judging her too fast now, can we? There's still a lot of her time to go in NXT, and of course it's again in such a high fashion. So yeah, I always respect her. I think it's only been a month in the company to get a championship. That is a great feat for her to have, and a great to have on her belt, a great push as well. I kind of saw this coming. I've heard a lot of people say stuff about her, and yeah, she absolutely delivered. The Empress of Tomorrow, I believe that's kind of a stupid name, but anyway, she's called the Empress of Tomorrow. She's kind of the Empress of Today now, I guess, winning that championship, don't you think? Yeah, but Bayley has to move on some fashion, so main roster possibly in the next couple of months. That's my opinion on that. So yeah, and yeah, a great finish where she kind of looked over her shoulder at the fallen Bayley and kind of gave her one last look before leaving, kind of smiled and kind of went on her way. So she's staying strong. She's completely, yeah, she's taken out all the women. She's literally gotten to the top in less than a month. That's completely freaking me out. And yeah, well, I kind of felt, I guess, okay with it after a while. It was my least kind of okay win of the night, but I still was like, even after all of these booking choices, it was like, they all make sense. They do completely make sense. This one needs to be worked on a lot, because of course this one is a hard one, because she has to show that she deserved the title, which she obviously will, because it's Asuka. So it definitely makes sense, Asuka winning. If it was, say, Dana Brooke winning it after only a month in the company, that wouldn't be questionable. But it's Asuka, guys, so we can definitely respect that move. Now moving on to the main event, guys. I will probably be discussing some other stuff afterwards, but basically talking about the main event, guys, this was a big match. And we're talking about freaking Finn Balor, the NXT Championship. He has held the title for what seems like years at this point. No, he doesn't have it for years. Held for quite a while, guys, and he's taking on the likes of Samoa Joe. Oh yeah, guys, that's what we're talking about. Bobby Roode shows up in NXT. Hey, that guy was on TNA. He's been NXT champion. Absolutely marked when I saw him show. I was like, Bobby Roode, he's the hottest free agent on the market, and hopefully, hope to God, damn it, he comes to NXT. I mean, there's probably no reason why he can't come. He's here in the NXT arena. Obviously, he's going to come. I mean, it was like we saw back in the old days. Speaking of, I think we saw Kevin Nash or Scott Hall here or something like that, where I can't remember, an X-Pac. So it's like Kevin Nash, Scott Hall showing up at that Nitro episode. That was like significant because it kind of represented this. It was like, oh my God, you see the likes of this guy showing up at an NXT event. It's like, he's going to join. He's the hottest free agent in the market. That was kind of like a hark back. It was a nice moment to see. I think it was Scott Hall or Kevin Nash with like X-Pac out there. I was like, that's a nice callback to that event, and then bringing it forward to the future and saying, oh look, there's Bobby Roode showing up at one of our events. Crazy stuff how he's like, he is here and you guys were there, and it's like, oh my God, he could be NXT very, very soon. So that was kind of cool. And also seeing Austin Aries from TNA at the same time showing up. That's like two big market players from TNA. I mean, they're bringing from all directions, like NGPW, VW, and stuff like that. But bringing someone from TNA, that's a big buy to get. And so, a really, really nice one. And so, let's talk about the main event, because it was Finn Balor defending his title in demon form. Didn't disappoint. The entrance was really amazing, but funny. It was built up. You know, he's playing around with his entrance a lot, because it was a chainsaw, guys. It was representing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I believe. He was the guy in that, whoever that was, because when he went to London, he was Jack the Ripper. So naturally, coming to Texas, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yes, he had that chainsaw, bang, went into the ring, great, blue on him, nice blue look to him. I'm not a biggest fan of it, I like the red and black personally, but the blue was a nice little addition for Dallas and Texas, I believe. I think I get that with the blue, because I think that kind of, represents that. I'm not sure if he's going to have that on his new thing now. Kind of just prefer the red and black, guys. The blue is just too flashy for me. I think Demon is always a guy who wants to retract, stay back, and be in the darkness, ready to take down and feast on his prey. The blue kind of takes that out a bit for me, but at least, you know what, he kept to it. The face paint was usually the same, but it was kind of a bit more blue to it. Blue aspect to it. So there's a lot of blue on this card, okay, guys? Get used to it. And blue. Anyways, there was a lot of blue, okay? Blue 47. Anyways, the blue group. Yes, so absolutely wonderful effort. Finn Balor comes to the ring, chainsaw in hand, puts it away, gets NXT Championship, brings it, crawls up to the ring, and does the thing. Obviously, the arm raising, boom. Yeah, boom, and then again. And there we go. Then we saw the likes you've never seen before. Samoa Joe in his rematch. This guy looks scary. He just marched to the ring. He wasn't having any BS. I mean, his music is scary, guys. You gotta see it. Oh, it's scary. But anyway, I was not scared at all when I saw... Well, actually, I was scared, but I was pissing my pants, basically. Because when this match got started, by God, you would be so scared of the offense. We heard what Samoa Joe said about how Finn Balor barely escaped from that match. And you could tell from this one, guys. This was a big deal for Samoa Joe to take home the gold. He was going to go in, he was going to go around, and he was going to capture that belt, no matter what it meant for him. So we marched in, we saw this get underway, a great contest. Whew, this one got underway, and bam, it got bammed underway. A lot of offense early on from Samoa Joe. He completely went in, took a lot of hits, and bang, early on, we saw him launch into something on Finn Balor, I believe. Camera was up against the ropes, hit him with something really pretty serene, and got himself a bleed right on the side of his eye, I believe, that bled down the side of his face very early on. I just noticed, I was like, oh, holy crap, he's bleeded, man. He's bladed himself. It looked like an intentional blade, but I think to God it was one of the moves he launched. Afterwards, I was like, okay, it's probably one of the moves. But then I was like, did he not intentionally blade? I will be hearing about this later in the news, but I don't know, guys. I have no idea. It looked very intentional to me, where it landed on the eye. It was just kind of unusual position, but I think it could have been a foot from Finn Balor or something early on that kind of pinpointed in that position, because it was kind of an odd position where it just really on the face, like that just seemed like a blade position where he could have got it in really easily. But let's not go to set conclusions very easily, because we got to focus on this match. So yeah, after that, basically the offense went really bad. I guess Balor tried a few kicks, he tried to get started, but it wasn't really going for him. So Samoa Joe completely launched into his attack. Bang, outside the ring, guys. This went outside the ring. It was crazy offense. We saw it go out to, I believe, the railings, the guardrails outside. Bang against one of the guardrails, against the other one, and he smashed through it. It literally threw him over the guardrail. They didn't care. Into a chair, onto the crowd. It was probably an empty chair. Hopefully there was no person killed in that attempt when Samoa Joe threw him over. But it kind of harks back to the last NXT event where we saw the complete throw down. It was just like a continuation of the last episode of NXT. So a really mad set of offense there. Really crazy stuff. Also, guys, you gotta mention how this one went down. My God, Samoa Joe's offense. Really crazy how he just slaps the hell out of Finn Balor, punches him, takes the biggest lashes as possible on Finn Balor. I mean, completely crazy stuff. So yeah, just amazing. Anyways, all good things must come to an end, and as I said, I thought Samoa Joe was going to win, but I felt it kind of changed hands. At one point in the match, I realised, just as I was thinking about it, I was like, something fishy's going on. Oh yeah, I realised only 2 other championships have changed hands. This one is definitely not changing hands. At that point I knew it was all going Finn Balor's way. So Samoa Joe took about 90% of the offense in this entire match. I mean, crazy amount of offense where, oh my god, everything was going his way. You could just see things go bang, 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 and absolutely crazy, crazy stuff going on. So naturally enough, Balor launches into his crazy bit of offense, but it doesn't last long because Samoa Joe gets him up against one of the corners in the turnbuckle, right? And absolutely launches another slap onto him. And then every time we saw him, we saw knees come down on Finn in the middle of the ring. We saw him absolutely smash down on him with like a splash or something, where I can't believe it was happening, where he does the back splash. I love that move where he just goes bang, jumps over him, and then falls on his back on him. I mean, crazy, crazy stuff. And that's one of my favourite moves of him. We also saw Samoa Joe hit the his finisher, I think. The one before the finisher where he just like launches up. I thought it was all over. Then we saw a few pin attempts before that, and then we saw that and I was like, oh my god, this guy's got to be over. And it wasn't over when he hit that, I believe the muscle buster. Yeah, it wasn't even over after that. So it was crazy stuff. I saw it outside the ring again, smash against the guardrails. Finn Balor tries the same thing, doesn't get him as close. I thought it was crazy how he just goes out and he doesn't even cause him an impact. Samoa Joe kept his feet a lot, which I thought was really cool. The way he just would not sell the drops, and how Finn Balor would just hit him really, really hard, keep punching him furiously, and he wouldn't fall down. He just wouldn't get down. And then at some point, when you do see Finn Balor hit him and he does fall over, it's like crazy the way Samoa Joe actually fell the time. It was like, bang, it really shows when the hard hitting really hits. And so as it went on, I think it really kind of started to advantage to Finn Balor towards the end. It was like, okay, now the endurance is setting in. It's like, at this point in the match, over 10 minutes, this is the points where, or 15 minutes even, where you're like, okay, now it's all about, guys, how you have endurance and how you can survive in the ring. And that was really a test of survival for Balor, but I think he's got the more stamina in him, so he definitely could set in, and it was beginning to be like, okay, now it's the endorphins, guys. This is what's keeping you alive at this point in time, the adrenaline. And so when that sets out, you get really, really tired. And so at this point, Samoa Joe had to set into beast mode, completely getting into power and then taking it down. He just took it down, guys. Absolutely crazy stuff. The finish of the match we saw tonight, absolutely amazing, as we saw Finn Balor hit all his signature moves once again. The dropkick of hell in the corner, the coup de grace on the top rope, and of course the finish of the Bloody Sunday suplex. And it was all over, guys. All over. Yeah, it ended. We saw before that we saw the Kochi clutch, where Samoa Joe tried to set it in, but he didn't quite get it, and then it reversed into a pin, and that was the end of the match. So there was a bit afterwards, I think, with the Kochi clutch. I think it was like where he tried the Bloody Sunday suplex, didn't quite hit it, then the Kochi clutch from Samoa Joe, then he kind of flipped over it, and into a really cool pin at the end, and he won it, basically. There you go, guys. So that was how it ended. Finn Balor reigning victorious, remaining the NXT Championship, which made sense. It was a good highlight to end the match. If we had ended with Samoa Joe winning, I don't think it would have had the same effect with an end to the pay-per-view. So a really nice end to the pay-per-view. That means Samoa Joe has had 2 unsuccessful bouts for that title, which basically rules him out of the competition. So the question is, who are we going to see next? I knew Finn Balor at this point. He's staying around for a bit of a long haul here in NXT. I knew that from the beginning, but I just wanted to see something else. I was like, something fishy about maybe Samoa Joe not winning the first time and winning the second time. But it was kind of crazy how he just didn't win on 2 occasions where he definitely had most of the match in hand. So I think that's the ultimate underdog for Finn Balor. He's become a great, but not really underdog in most ways. But it's just been this competition that's really gotten it to him. But anyways, he's had such great competition. He hasn't really lost the mainstay with that demon, so that's something that's keeping around, the way he's keeping that demon form on top form and not really losing with that demon form as well, and obviously inventing new stuff with that ring entrance and with the ring costume as well, the attire. So he's definitely reinventing that demon and in different ways that we never would have thought would have happened. So an absolutely wonderful thing. I believe he called it the 1916 DDT, by the way, not the Bloody Sunday. But I wouldn't have known. With the DDT, he also hit that 1916 DDT. If you don't know, that's basically called the 1916 DDT because a rising out in Ireland 100 years ago with 1916. So I guess that's why he called it the 1916 DDT, and one of the moves in the match. So yeah, the Demon stood tall as a champion. Great match. highlights of the night, obviously I kind of mentioned them all really, and obviously a really wonderful occasion. This one garners another 4 out of 5, another 4 out of 5, guys. Really, all 4 out of 5. So probably averaging about a 4 out of 5 tonight on most of these match encounters, or maybe a 3.9. Yeah, probably a 4. I'm not good with maths. So yeah, a great encounter. The best match of the night though had to go down to that Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura, because absolutely gobsmacking how amazing that match was. I probably ranked as a close second. The downfall was, of course, the medics who kept coming out all the time. We were just booing the hell out of them. It was like, get out of the way, please. We don't want you here. Just go away. You're really annoying, guys. You're really taking the vibe out of the match that I was just enjoying so much. And so yeah, it was like, go away, medics. That was the kind of thing I was saying throughout the whole thing. I was like, that's really, really annoying. I don't want them here. And it's not just me, it was everyone else booing the hell out of them as well. So the crowd was really fun tonight. They had a bit of a match singing at the beginning, sing-song, da-da-da-da. They were singing a song as well with the Bailey match, which I really liked, the Bailey song. And then sat at the end. And also just some of the botches throughout the card. We saw early on with the Revival botch a really bad, what looked like they were attempting a pin or something or other, and literally they botched it so bad where they were trying to do a 2 tag team maneuver, and then it was obviously reversed on them so badly. So yeah, that was pretty bad. Anyways, they probably went for something that could have broken one of their necks, so other than people's necks. So it was a really big botch they had. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but it was a really fun encounter anyways. So yeah, this one obviously garnered a lot, especially the end for Sami Zayn on this. You gotta know, after that WrestleMania match, he's got to be gone from this NXT. So this could right well be the end of NXT for him. I mean, this literally could be the last one. I mean, we've seen him on the main roster before, obviously with John Cena United States Championship won earlier on this year, and then injury, and then he came back. It's like, guys, he's not coming back to NXT ever again, probably, unless for another special appearance very later on. But he's definitely not going to be on next week, guys. He's gone, guys. Unless he's going to say goodbye and like a one of NXT episodes coming up. I respect that, but this could be a good high point for him to end, so I think that's a good thing to happen. I think there should be a good place to end it on. So yeah, it seemed fitting that that's where we should finish talking about this episode of NXT. Anyways, what a great episode. There's going to be a lot of fallout from this, which is really going to be great. I thought this was the best NXT TakeOver I've ever seen. Not the best one because I haven't seen all of the last ones, but definitely the best one I've seen, NXT TakeOver Dallas. I give it a strong, guys, 4.5 out of 5 in overall measure. I know I said earlier, yeah, about the blah-de-blah Florida thing. But anyways, I got 3 out of 5 predictions correct, so that's pretty decent. And also, giving that a 4.5 out of 5 is a very strong one by my standards. Probably the best one I've seen. I don't know if Brooklyn probably would have given it a 5. If I've seen Brooklyn, I probably would have given that a 5 out of 5. Maybe not as good as Brooklyn, but guys, I haven't seen that yet, so I don't know. I might see it again in the WWE Network, but anyways, never know. I like to see things just a day after when I haven't heard any of the results. I probably have heard all the Brooklyn results. So yeah, guys, that was it. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment below, share your comments below, and make sure to subscribe as well if you haven't already. Favorite, and do all you kind of support me. Comment below all your opinions on the matches you saw tonight on this card. I absolutely loved it. The highlight of the night for me was that Shinsuke Nakamura Sami Zayn fight and Sami Zayn's end, and then of course the handshake between the two at the end. I thought that was very symbolic because there was also the changing of the guards there, and also the changing guard with, I believe, Asuka, and obviously with Shinsuke Nakamura too, which are going to take a very big position on the card. It was like a Japanese invasion, sort of, or Asian invasion. It's kind of weird to say it like that. Yeah, but anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this really long review of NXT Takeover Dallas. It was a really enjoyable show. My WrestleMania 32 review probably won't even be this long. It actually probably will be because there's a lot of matches on the card, so there'll be a lot of stuff to talk about. But yeah, I'll definitely be doing an individual review of that. Predictions will probably be up in the podcast, or either that or just on its own. But anyways, for that WrestleMania 32, I'm gonna keep it to the point, and yeah, obviously I'll probably be doing predictions, but that will probably be singular. I'll put it singular, but it will be in the podcast as well, so you'll be able to listen to that tomorrow if I do a podcast. That's very... it might happen, I'm not sure, but I might just do a WrestleMania 32 predictions. Yeah, either one of those. But anyways, that was a very enjoyable match, very enjoyable card, very enjoyable pay-per-view, all in all. Live event, I don't know what it's called. Thank you guys for watching so much. This has been a great watch, and I would love to see what happens next time in NXT when I do my next episode of NXT review. So yeah. 2 championship changes. hands, and we still have one that's still with Finn Balor. Finn Balor is still United States Champion. So a great way to end it. See you all next time, and hope you have a good one, and enjoy the rest of WrestleMania weekend as we continue. See you all next time.